Mark has a beautiful analogy for this, and I quote him respectfully. He starts out to say the first relationship that most of us have was role mate.
Okay, yeah.
I had that. I got married, have as many children as possible, take care of your husband and house. I was not a rebel at all. I just did it.
Right.
And so did most women, and so did most of them get depressed. But they all did it, the educated women of that generation. So, okay, that was role mate.
Okay.
Then we started to move in the 60s, 70s, 80s into soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, we care for each other, we support each other, particularly if we're wounded, we heal each other, very, very loving, caring, however, also not totally passionate.
Yeah.
Third one, just rolling around, he calls Wholemate, with Wholemate for shared purpose.
Mm. And that's obviously not necessarily just between two people. Wholemate could be more of a community, yeah?
Well, this is all remains to be seen.
Okay.
But first of all, if you take the two people, each one has to be whole.
Yeah. Which is a feat.
So you don't get to be wholemate with wholemate unless you get to be whole.
Right, right. So
Now,
you have to start with yourself.
So
really.
what I found to get to be whole, I had to consolidate all aspects of my being.
Okay.
My local self, my essential self,
Yeah.
what I'm calling my universal higher frequency self,
Yeah.
my love of Jesus, my Christ love, Christos. And if I bring and integrate all of those selves,
Yeah.
what happens to me is I begin to substantiate.
Okay.
I become substantial in wholeness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, one little part will go off this way or go
Right.
off. Let's say I get feeling of failure.
Yeah.
Okay, off goes local self.
Right.
So I know enough to rope it back in
Right.
and not to just run after it and get lost.
Sure.
So that's where the director of attention comes in.
Right. And the key is that all of your selves are always
Right.
there and available in every aspect of what you're
And
doing.
so you get alert.
Yeah.
And then here's the next one. You have to self-calibrate all the time
Okay.
as to what is yours to do.
Okay.
Say, I'm sure all of us have this, but I certainly do. There are many, many things I could do.
Sure. And sometimes even want to do, right? Yeah.
All of them,
Yeah.
let's say. I love all of them. How do I choose
Yeah.
to self-calibrate? Well, I have to go back to that deep impulse, and I have to see it as an impulse of creation given to me, you might say, by the divine process of evolution. It's not just a personal whim.
Yeah.
And the way you know it is the compass of joy. Not just by figuring out which would be better or more profitable.
Sure. What really brings joy.
It brings joy, it brings love, it brings heart, it brings creativity. So you get attuned to what does that for you.
Mm.
It's not so easy.
Yeah, no.
And then you have to attune to who else or how many others are you to do this with. Just take it one other for the moment.
Sure.
So that means this other person has to go through the same thing. They have to become whole.
Yeah.
All their different parts. And the need to dominate, the need to control, the feeling of inadequacies, the feeling of, compulsiveness, the feeling of being, somehow addicted to something,
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah.
If you want to be a wholemate, it also means you want to go the whole way in this lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a double entendre.
Yeah.
Everything you could possibly be. So I go back to my father, do your best.
Right.
Jump over. To do my best, I have to become whole.
Yeah.
And in order to fulfill that wholeness, I need to have a wholemate or more.
Mm.
And that's what I have.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's amazing.
So
yeah.
wholemate with wholemate
Right.
is the next stage of relationship, we're saying.
Right.
And evolution is relationship. So when you get whole and are able to have wholemate relationships of whatever kind and how many, I don't know, because this is new to me.
Right.
But it's also wonderful for the postmenopausal woman who would be supposedly declining
Right.
to find out that she's arising.
And that, I mean, you're doing that, and
I am.
I feel you, just so much vitality.
I'm
It's like
arising.
you're getting young. Yeah, you're getting younger.
I'm getting newer.
Newer.
See, it's really not younger.
Okay,
Because I
newer.
wouldn't want to be younger.
Right, right.
And
right.
neither would anybody that I know.
Right.
Because you go through a lot to get
Sure.
to right where you are, and the
I
idea
don't want to
of,
do that over again.
no, thank
Right,
you.
Right. So newer. Oh.
Newer every day. And then Wholemate with Wholemate creates babies, and the babies are the works and the gifts for humanity.
Oh.